people are murmuring and complaining water, and God said, go speak to the rock. Now the first time, we'll mention that maybe later, the first time God said, strike the rock, but this time God said, speak to the rock. And Moses in this time, hard time, his sisters just died. The people are risen up against him again. They're thirsty, they got no water. In this hard time, Moses strikes the rock instead of speaking to it. And he struck it twice. And sometimes we see many things here. We can have things that happen in our life, and God can have us do something, and then things improve, and we can have another situation down the road, maybe similar, and we may look back and do what God said this time instead of what God's saying this time. Because God doesn't do things the same, all the time. Churches are individual. Saved people are individual, and God does things on an individual basis. It's not cookie cutter with God. And so He'll do that in our lives. He'll solve this problem this way, and then I'll be expecting this similar problem to be solved the same way. I remember God has given us money in the past when we needed it. And I remember a situation, we were getting a vehicle for my wife a few years ago. And I'm trying to shorten this story, but nevertheless, I was praying and looking for a vehicle for her, and I remember pulling up to the stoplight going into town, and this vehicle crosses the intersection in front of me, and the Holy Spirit said, look at that. And it was a Lincoln Navigator. And I said, wow, God, we can't afford one of them. God said, look at that. And I couldn't forget it, and I think I went and mowed a yard or something. I come home, I looked online on some sales sites and found a Lincoln Navigator right off the bat, and shortly we went and tried it out, and so I come home, and I'm praying. We didn't have enough money for the price. And so I'm praying as we're coming home, and I'm thinking, okay, God, He had done things certain ways, and another time I expected Him to do it this time. And I'm thinking, I said, Lord, He needs to come down on the price. And God spoke to me and said, why can't I give you more money? And we pulled up to the mailbox that day. And there was a check. We were expecting the check, but nevertheless, there was a check. It was enough money to go with what we already had and to buy this vehicle for my wife. I'm saying all that to say God doesn't do it the way we think. And so Moses